So earlier you're mentioning you're having trouble with your 9 to 5. Your 9 to 5 causing, share with me more, stress, etc.
Yeah, it's causing a lot of stress. So it has become like more from a perspective, it has crossed a long way from a perspective that it's just a job, it's just a 9 to 5 to more, it's like a fear ingrained in me that, okay, like my first waking thought is just I have to get to my 9 to 5 and I have to finish my today's task, else I'm gonna be in trouble. And that this goes throughout my entire day. And when I'm doing that, I find myself mostly like not focusing on any other thing, even on myself or any other task in my life that I have it that I've set for myself. It's like a it's like now I'm circling around this small universe that I have created, which only revolves around my 9 to 5, and
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So let me ask you this. On a scale of 0 to 100, 100 is your best self, with you feeling the way that you're feeling and with you doing what you're doing now, what you just explained, what percentage are you working at for your 9 to 5 from 0 to 100?
It's definitely below 50, I would say.
Definitely before. Okay, so let's give it a number.
Let's say 30, 40, 40, that's 40.
Okay, let's call it 35.
35, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you're performing at 35%, right? So what is not working right now? So what is not working is fear,
Yeah.
stress, anxiety.
Yeah. And yeah, mostly the weight, the heaviness that my entire life right now, my entire survival basically depends upon it.
Okay, weight of job, um, jumping into it before taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's a major thing that I've seen, because many times when I wake up, even if I wake up a little bit early, before my day starts, I'm seriously like diverted to opening Teams and seeing that if I have any new messages, if I have anything new urgent things assigned to me.
Who told you that you had to
Yeah.
open up Teams? Did anyone tell you that, or is that just you?
Yeah, because it's always like majority of the times, I always get a lot of messages in the morning that, oh, there's a fire alarm happening and we have to get to it. And just also because I have a lot of responsibilities in my company, and it's it's really a small company, it's a startup. So basically, if we do not attend to our responsibilities, the whole client base can basically get angry upon us. And yeah, so people will churn from the products. So
Okay,
that's why
cool.
yeah,
Perfect. And so what time are you like expected to check your messages?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
almost.
And what time do you check them?
7:37 sometimes.
Okay, gotcha. So no one's telling you to check them at 7 or 7:30. That's you, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, cool. So here's what our problem is as human beings is we don't stand in 100% responsibility. We give power away to external things. Like right now, you're saying you're feeling the way that you are because of your job, so you are giving your power away to your job, right? Sometimes
Hmm.
it's people. They said this about me, then and that's why I feel this way. You're giving that person your power. She
Yeah.
did this to me, giving her your power. He did this to me, giving him your power. This
Hmm.
happened to me, giving that situation your power. When we do that, it drains our power and it gives it away to external things. So if we are saying all we can control is ourselves, right? You can't control the company, you can't control another person. You can try to, but good luck, right?
Yeah.
So when we stand in 100% responsibility, then we have the power, we have our power because we're holding on to it to change the situation. So we can actually change it. If we don't have that power, then we can't change it because it's not ours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in responsibility, I'm not talking about fault. I'm not talking about blame. I'm not talking about guilt. I'm not talking about shame. A lot of times people will say when they hear the word responsibility or how are you responsible for that, they'll think, how am I to blame for that? How am I at
Mm,
fault? How am I guilty?
yeah.
And then they feel shame, right? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how can you do something about it? So, how can we do something about this? So from 7 to 7:30, how can we fill up your cup? How can we have you come in? So instead of you operating at 35%, let's just say you're not even at 100. Let's just say we get you to 70%.
Mm,
Let's just say we get you to 50% or 60%,
mm,
right? So what if before you got on, you took some deep breaths? What if before you got on, you listened to some music that inspires you? What if
mm,
before you got on, you wrote down gratitude, what you're grateful for? Thank God I have a business. I have a job that I'm working for right now. While thousands of
yeah.
people are getting laid off for businesses going under, for AI taking over, for all these different things. Maybe you
Mm,
can read a good book. Maybe you can listen to a YouTube video. How can you set yourself up in that last or in that 30 minutes or 15 minutes before you go into work? So then when you go into work, you're operating at such a higher level that anything happens rather than that taking you down, you've built up a wall, so you just go right through it.
mm.
Where
Okay.
if you don't have that, your cup is bare, there's nothing in your cup, then when something happens, it takes you out. And when that takes you out, that takes more time to get back to do what you need to do. And then that creates more stress. And then you're slacking more, right? Do you see how that snowball will
Mm,
happen?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Makes sense.
the cool part is before a problem happens, it is already solved. So super quick story. When I worked for a startup, there was someone that handled all of our tech. We're a direct to
Mm,
consumer health and wellness product. And the
mm,
tech was crazy. You know how tech is, right? With all the different funnels and you have affiliates,
yeah.
all the different things, right? And this guy, Jacob, he was every time there was anything wrong, Jacob was totally cool. I never saw him got flustered or upset. And when COVID happened, we were kind of in the office, out of the office. Jacob went home to work from his office. There was
Mm,
two times or two or three times I forgot my password on my computer. Well, Jacob had to come in and reset my password for me. So on the third, I think it
mhm.
was like the second or third time, I can't remember. I'm like, Jacob's got to be pissed. Like this has got to be so annoying because he's got much bigger
Yeah.
things to worry about than resetting my password, right? And he comes in, he's like, "Hey man, how's it going? Okay, here we go. Da, da, da. All right, you're all set, man. Have a good day." And I was like, "Jacob, can I ask you something?" He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I'm doing sales at the time and I'm doing coaching. And I get stressed out. And I can only imagine his tech job 10, 15, 20 times more challenging than mine. I go, "Jacob, how are you so calm with doing everything that you're doing? Like, I've never seen you fluster. I've never seen you been upset." It's like, "Yeah, man, I realized one time that every problem has a solution and it's just a matter of time before I figure out the solution. So there's no reason to get upset about it because just need to find out the solution." And I was just like, dang, that's right. So as long as you remember that before a problem happens, it is already solved. Don't get flustered. Don't get frustrated because that's just going to waste time. That's just going to lower your vibration. Understand that, okay, how would I solve this from a neutral standpoint, a neutral energy?
Mm,
Because when we're up here and we're doing really well, and then we bring down our energy to anxiety, fear, resentment, etc., we give away our
mm,
power, we give away our energy, we give away our mind, our thinking, our critical thinking. And when we think of the things that are going wrong, we're only going to think of more things that go wrong. It's like
mm.
Chat
Yeah.
GPT. It's like AI. You know, when we put
Yeah.
in the code of what we want, that's what we'll get. So put in the
Yeah.
code, okay, how do I solve this? And then instantly you're going to allow your mind, your consciousness to think of different ways of how to solve this
Mm.
rather than fear, stress, anxiety, weight of a job, jumping in, etc. Gotcha. So what are you hearing me say?
Yeah. So basically, just have a high level of vibration, allow myself to uh, take some deep breaths, relax before I enter it, and then always think about it. If there's a problem, there is a solution. always be solution focused. And that will help me basically calm down and just bring up my percentage of getting closer to my best self.
Exactly. Boom. So filling up your cup before. So when you come
Yeah.
in, you're seeing problems before they even come in. Rather than letting it
Mhm.
happen to you, you see how they're happening for you. All this job is doing is having you become a better problem solver. So be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Like if you can handle this, a high stress startup job, what else can you handle?
Yeah.
Right? It's like trying to
Yeah.
ride a bike with uh beat up wheels on a rugged trail that's full of hills and everything, right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, and that's what you're doing right now, going up and down these hills. And then you get a nice bike with nice wheels and you're riding on a smooth road. You're like, "Whew, I got this. This is simple, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you're in a training ground right now. So be grateful for it. And so when you come into this job as I'm grateful for this because I am learning how to handle my emotions, I'm learning how to handle my power, I'm learning how to problem solve, I'm learning how to control the way my body behaves because I'm controlling the way my mind thinks. How much
Yeah.
stronger are you going to be than the person who lets life happen to them? Because you're seeing how life is
Mm.
happening for you. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely.
And
Because I also notice many times in myself that even though I'm in a very stressful environment, the best thing that I do not freak out. So previously I used to freak out a lot, but I I don't freak out at all. Now I don't panic in these situations. So I even if it takes time, but the only problem is that I kind of get overwhelmed sometimes. But that too, I'm being aware that okay, I'm getting overwhelmed with so many things to do, or I'm basically not giving myself a lot of time. But in most scenarios, I'm very calm and very like I'm just flowing through the situations that's been happening. So at least in that case, I'm kind of proud of myself.
yeah, of course. And I love that. See, now your mind is thinking about where you can be proud of yourself and how you are. And if you ever get overwhelmed, two things that you can do. One, if you're feeling the overwhelm come in, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, write down all the stuff that is up here. It's called a brain
Yeah,
drain. Write it all
yeah,
down. And what you'll realize, and I've done this with so many people, is that you'll think it's like 50 things up here in your head, and then you write it down, it's like six things. You're like, oh my gosh, like it's really not that bad, right? It's like I
yeah,
think I've shared this with you before. It's like having our computer
yeah,
open with a whole bunch of different tabs. And the way you close out those tabs is you write it from your head onto a piece of paper, you number it, what's most important to least important, and you move from the most important down to the least important. And you don't move from the next one until you finish the one before. And that's how you knock things out. And if you really want to knock it out, put a 10-minute timer on it, and you will be world's fastest, man alive. So, and then number
yeah,
two is you can be overwhelmed or you can be up to big things.
yeah.
One steals your power, makes you feel a victim. One gives you power, makes you feel like a victor.
Mm. God, yeah, absolutely. I need to start practicing this thing that rather than saying overwhelmed, I need to say that I'm up to big things because that really changes the perspective of how my day is going or how I see things.
Yep. And you don't need to, you get to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
check
get
this
to
out.
absolutely.
Write down three things right now that you or you can type it in the chat. What are three things? What are two things that you need to do? I need to pay bills. I need to go to the grocery store. I need to go to the gym. I need to work out. I need to change my language, whatever.
Yeah.
And then write down two things that you have to do after that.
Hmm.
And put it in the chat so I can see.
Yeah. So first, three things that I need to do, right?
Yeah. You can write two.
Okay.
I need to pay bills. I need to call my mom.
Okay.
If you're a parent, I
Hmm.
need to spend time with my kid.
Okay, yeah. So these are the things that I need to do.
Okay. I need to pay for the machine. I need to get my second workout done. And then what are two things that you have to do? What are the two things that you
Um,
normally say, I have to do this?
so have to means like I don't necessarily enjoy it, but I have to do it because it's important.
Yeah,
It's necessary.
I have to work my job.
Uh,
There you go. There's one.
yeah. I have to work my job. Yes.
And then what's
Yeah.
the
So
second one?
that's um
Let's just say I have to pay my cell phone bill.
yeah.
Perfect. So now instead of need to or have to, you insert get to or blessed to. I get to pay for my machine. I get to do my second workout. I'm blessed to work my job. I'm blessed to pay
Mm,
my cell phone bill. Some people can't pay a cell phone bill. Some people don't have a cell phone to pay a cell phone bill. Some people don't
mm,
have money to pay for a machine. Some people don't have legs or arms or both to get a workout done.
mm.
Some people
Yeah.
aren't alive breathing to get a second workout done. So what this does is when you start changing your needs to and your have to get to and blessed to, you start coming and speaking, spelling, SPE, right? We're casting spells with our words. So we are casting a spell with what we say. So if we're
Mm,
casting um, have to or need to, that kind of feels like, I don't really want to do that, right? But if we say
yeah.
get to or blessed to, we're coming from a
Mhm,
place of gratitude. So that's going to lift our vibration. That's going to lift our frequency. That's going to change how we are seeing the world. And when you change how you see
mhm.
things, the way you see things change.
Okay, just like the analogy of how we practiced before that, okay, how many brown things do you find in your room? Okay.
Yep. So you'll
Yeah.
catch yourself, you'll say, oh, I need to pay my bill, or I need to go see my friend. And then you'll go, no, I get to go see my friend. Some people don't have a
Mm,
friend to go see because they're not alive anymore, right?
yeah,
Or whatever.
absolutely.
So it puts you into a place of gratitude, 100%. And so you're focused on gratitude and you're speaking in gratitude. Cool.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.